This is Singapore, one of Asia's top destinations and known for being a state-of-the-art urban green space, where I spent 4 days and overall got this impression. Everything appears too perfect, feels very artificial and man-made. So now the question is, will a perfect-looking city be the perfect place to photograph? Let's find out. Good morning from Singapore, which is probably one of those countries that you can consider a utopia. One thing for sure, it has a very, very beautiful city skyline. So I am currently now in Merlion Park, which is one of the icons and symbols of Singapore. I came here not really to see the sunrise, but specifically because this place is really, really crowded. So I wanted to avoid the crowds. 10 in the morning, look at that crowd already. So currently I'm just on the hunt on beautiful cityscape photos, which to me is very, very similar to landscape photography. I'll just treat the buildings as my mountains and then use the same compositional techniques of the framing. So the last time I was here in Singapore, it was around 2017 or 2018. So that was just the time when I was starting out in photography, and looking back, I think my photos were quite shitty, to be honest. So it's good to be back revisiting with the skill set that I have now and then maybe getting better shots. I used to discount coming back to Singapore because I thought it was just a city. I already live in Hong Kong, which is probably similar to the site that I was going to see, but coming back, it's not bad. After taking a couple more tourist photos around the Merlion, it looks like you're drinking water from the Merlion's vomit. And seeing how beautiful the streets were, it was time to practice a tip I remembered about talking to people on the street. If I walk up to people, what should I say?
Hello.
And then how do I ask them to have a photo with me?
Can I have a photo with you? And then they'll say no.
Hi, sorry. Kind of like your... I actually know her. She's not a stranger.
Who is you?
Okay.
Who is you?
Who is you? Don't believe everything on the internet. Now spin around. Like you can do it. Not that fast. Slow twirl. Okay, so right now I think it's time to explore the surroundings around Merlion Park and the Marina Bay Sands, and I kind of want to explore around the Helix Bridge as well. So I do think the best time to view the Helix Bridge is at night because it's going to be illuminated by all the pretty colorful light bulbs. But I think the shots that I took today is a lot better than the last time I was here before. I think they want to do like a reel or TikTok awkward dance reveal. So now we are on our way to another tourist attraction here in Singapore, the Gardens by the Bay, which I primarily just want to visit because I want to photograph those alien-looking trees that look pretty cool. They're like the types of stuff that I'll photograph in my landscape photography. Only difference, they're not really land. If you feel tired about just being in the middle of the city, you can take a break and head over to Sentosa Island to relax by the man-made beaches and a couple more attractions like theme parks and just walk around in the heat. So if ever you're coming here, be prepared for the Singapore heat. This is no joke. And I'm from the Philippines. We didn't stay long for lunch as we had to watch the Coldplay concert that night. Okay, so currently we're walking out here in a place called Haji Lane, which is a popular tourist spot here in Singapore for the very colorful and lively vibe. So one thing I've noticed in my half an hour of just walking around, Singapore streets a lot more vibrant. I don't know how to explain, but the colors just appear so much brighter than what I'm used to. You can see the sky a lot more here. So the skyscrapers aren't so tall and densely packed as much as I'm used to in Hong Kong. So I think I randomly found this Insta-famous mosque. And then it's Insta-famous because you can frame the mosque with one of the gates. And people usually pose around this street. I don't know if it's shot worth taking because 1,000 or more other photographers have taken it. Right, so we arrived at one of the hawker centers here in Singapore, the Maxwell Hawker Center. And hawker centers are a great way to find some local food and then very, very inexpensive around as well. It's just that it's hard to find a table, especially it's lunchtime. Right beside the Maxwell Hawker Center will be the streets of Chinatown and an important temple which holds the Buddha tooth relic. It's a beautiful one and free to go inside, so make sure to check it out. The streets of Chinatown are also colorfully decorated this time, as it is a couple of weeks away from the Lunar New Year of the Dragon, of which I've learned. They said Year of the Dragon babies have much more power and status. You know, just luck just comes to them. So, have sex. So I think doing a bit of street photography gave me a much more deeper appreciation of Singapore streets, because previously I wasn't too excited about it. I only wanted to look out for landscapes, but now I find everything so aesthetically pleasing. Like the symmetry and the shapes and patterns, different curves in the archways, and then the colors just really pop out. I feel like I much notice a bit more about how the city is more laid out. Changes in perspective. Very important in photography. So I have a bit of free time before I meet my friends again, so I decided to force myself and walk around and explore street photography style. Really makes me move around a lot more and just consider finding places that's beyond the typical tourist spots that you'll see online, which from a photography perspective is a bit too boring already for me, because I've seen those exact same compositions and photos on the internet for so many times. So I kind of want to just try and find my own compositions and shots. So if you do want to avoid the tourist crowds, there's no better way to do it than just walk around and then see what you can find. No expectations, and then eventually you'll be able to find some interesting local gems. Just walking around, I can already see why a lot of people say that Singapore is very organized, safe, orderly, everything's well laid out. It's just too perfect. But a lot of people also claim that because it's too perfect, everything appears too man-made, too artificial, and it's fake. But you know, it's not every day that I see something like this, so just gotta learn how to appreciate it. So I managed to find my way going here to Clarke Quay, which is one of the nice places here in Singapore to experience the nightlife because of the number of options you can have for the restaurants, bars, and it also has a very beautiful riverside view. But for now, I wanted to check out beside it is the Old Hill Police Station, which is what feels like a very perfect Instagram street shot, because it's a building, a police station, historical looking, and it is decorated with rainbow colored windows. So what more can you ask for? So now I do just want to find a nice angle to photograph the Old Hill Police Station. Okay, so I think it's going to be on this side because there's not going to be any railings that will block your view, and then there's a lot less cars passing by on this side, so you can have a full street view of the police station from the opposite side. So I think it's going to be quite nice if I can time it well with less clutter from the grounds. So what I've noticed so far here in Singapore is that the sidewalks, the pedestrian lanes, are very spacious compared to what I'm used to in Hong Kong, where it's a bit narrow and then you're pretty much tight on space. But here, I think cycling is a very common activity over here, where there's a lot of people just cycling around. As a final stop, I wanted to share more about the Singapore airport, which is one of the best airports in the whole world. I mean, this airport has an arcade area so that you won't be bored while waiting for your flight. It's just mind-blowing. There's also this man-made waterfall inside the shopping center in Jewel. And if you want to see more of my photography whenever I travel, then why don't you click on this video, so I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.